Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I'm Ryan Bowling. Thank you all for joining me. So there is this father that's getting mixed reviews, so to speak, or some slack for putting leashes, dog leashes, on his children. I think these children are in the age range of 5, 6, 7 years old, maybe younger. I think younger than that. And he's getting some slack for this. But he sees this as an issue of safety. So this is a interesting topic. That's kind of like uneven in some areas. And I just want to talk about this because I think this is something that should raise some conversation among people. So let's get into it. I'm just going to read a small portion of this article, and then I'm going to give you my commentary. So let's get right into this. I find this to be quite interesting and something that I'm pretty sure all of us have. If we have not practiced it, we have seen it. Okay. So the article starts off with a dad is receiving mixed reactions on social media after he posted a video of himself walking his 5 children on a leash. While using a leash is more commonly associated with pets, particularly dogs, it is not as widely associated with children. However, some parents are resorting to using a leash to ensure that their children are within a safe range of them. Jordan and Brianna Driscoll of Kentucky are parents to 5-year-old quintuplets and previously used a 6-seat stroller to transport them all around. But as the children grew in size, the Driscolls realized they needed a different method to keep them all within a safe distance and resorted to using a leash. And I'm going to stop right there because you guys can read the rest of that article in the description box below. It gives some comments from the people who disagree, and then it gives some comments from the people who agree. Some people understand why this father is doing this, and some people don't understand. Now, here's my assessment of this. Do I agree with this father and his parents putting leashes on their children? Let's put it to you like this. A better way of me saying that would be, I understand. Now, someone made the comment that disagreed with this father doing this, made the comment, why don't you just train the children not to run off or do something that's not right, and train and teach them what to do and what not to do? In other words, clearly this individual disagreed with his father putting this leash on his children. To which I thought to myself, that's true. That's true. You should train and teach your children these concepts. But remember, these are 4 and 5 and 6-year-old children. Okay. How many times, if you have children, have you spoke to your child about doing something? Now, it varies depending on the child. But if you say, don't do this, don't go over there, don't do this, don't say that, and your child directly disobeyed you. How many times do we see children disobeying their parents? Quite often, do we? How many times do we see children, especially when you have 5? It's hard to keep up when the children get older. When they get older, it's hard to keep up with 5 children because they're everywhere. Let me give you an example. I work, and I say this all the time, I work at Tower City as a security officer on bike patrol, and we're usually outside. Okay, most of the time. We're outside in front of the Tower City, and we're outside monitoring the area. And one particular day I saw this family. It was a family of adults, about 2 or 3, and they had about 5 or 6 children following them. They weren't on leases, okay? They weren't on these leases. And one particular child, they was coming out of the mall. That's what they were doing. They were coming out of the mall, and they were headed east. And one particular child was strolling behind. The door had closed up on him, was strolling behind. And the parents or the guardians or whoever they were just kept walking with the other kids, not noticing what was happening to the other child. And I said, wait a minute, hold on. And I had to literally stop the parents or the guardians and say, you got a child here, left the child behind. I said, oh, okay. And they went and got the child. Now, someone would argue, well, they weren't paying attention. That's true. But if they had a lease on all these children and have on them and tap them themselves, they probably would not have had that problem, because it's hard to keep up with 5 and 6 year old children and you have 5 of them at the same time, it's hard to keep up with them. So somebody can interpret that as you treating them as animals. Okay, it could be argued that, but is that really what this is? Is he really treating these children as animals, or is he just trying to be on the safe side? As one particular individual said in the article, he's just trying to be on the safe side. And in my opinion, he's trying to be on the safe side. Now, would I do that with my own children? I had one child. So I can't say that. I had one child, so it was easy for me to keep up with him when we would go out. Okay. But for this particular individual with 5 children, I don't know. And I've seen situations, as one particular individual said in a comment section, in the article rather, that how many times have we seen children dart off from their parents? I remember one time my younger sister, who has since passed on in 2018, one time she has 3 children, and her youngest, I was visiting her home, and her youngest son, all of a sudden out of nowhere, we was on the front porch, all of a sudden out of nowhere decided to jump off the porch and dart in the middle across the street. Cars just dart across the street without any warning, any sign, anything. My younger sister she tore his end up. Don't you ever run out there in the middle of the street like that. Stuff like that. When kids, let's be real, y'all. God bless children, but they do some crazy things. But if you got that leash on them, if they decide to run out in front of somewhere, they won't have to pull you with them. Okay? And that's not going to be far. So it could be argued either way, but I'm just going to end this on this note. I understand what the father is doing. I understand why he did what he did by putting these leashes on him. Now, let me end the video on this note. If you flip it over on the other side, one could ask this question in this way. What psychological effect this might have on the children, right? We flip it over on the other side. If the child is 5 years old and you have a leash and they have a leash on them, and then they see, and you walk down the street, and this 5-year-old child has a leash on them, and then they see someone coming in the opposite direction with a dog with a leash on it. What do you think that's going to, you believe that might psychologically affect them? Man, am I an animal? Am I a dog? Am I, they may not say that to themselves, but it might add some confusion to them psychologically, So when parents do these type of things, I don't think they're thinking about that kind of stuff. They're just thinking about being safe and making sure that their children are protected, because we've seen in situations in big crowds where children have disappeared, ran off and disappeared. Parents lost sight of them. And I'm pretty sure the parents didn't mean for that to happen. We get mad and say, well, these parents should have been watching these children, but you can't watch the children 24 hours, 7 days. You can't do that. You can't be looking at them like this every little second. You can't. You're never going to be able to have any fun. So, it could be argued either way. But I'm going to end on this note. I understand why the father did what he did. And at this point, I'm not condemning him. So what do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. God bless you all, and see you again.